Shalom. After my testimony, many of you asked me, in several languages actually, why I've chosen this name, Tzipora Hodaya, when I was converted. Because before I had a Christian name, so I had to change my name. And well, another day I will talk, in another video I will talk about Tzipora. And today I wanted just to talk about Hodaya. Because in Hebrew, each letter and each name and word is so deep and infinite, actually. And gives us teachings, infinite teachings. So just we'll talk about Hodaya today. I heard a Shiur Torah, and the Rav explains this name, and he said that in this name we have the 4 letters of God's name, Shem Hashem, and he said just in the middle we have the Dalet, that's the first letter of the Dal, who is a Pro, and the first letter also of the door, of the Delet, which is a door. And he said, well, in his name we have the 4 letters of God's name, and just in the middle, the Dalet of the Pro, who has always the door open to enter God's heart. And when I heard that, it touched me, and I knew at once that was my name. I wanted this name for my name. And because that's my experience, as I explained in my testimony, I always felt, even when I was a small child, I felt that I was just poor, I had nothing by myself. But God was my Father, my Creator. He wanted to bless me, and that's true also for everybody, every one of us. He is our Father, and we are poor, and He is our Father, and we have the door wide open to enter His heart. We must just want to enter and stay, and to stay in His presence and receive all His treasures. Above all, the contact with Him and the relationship with Him, and we receive from His heart. And another reason of my choice of Hodaya, Hodaya comes from the verb leodot, which has 2 meanings. First meaning, to recognize what God and other people do for us. Very often we are very ingrate, we thankless. We think that everybody is our due, and we don't thank God and other people. But we have to learn to open the eyes and to see really God's blessings and also what other people do for us. And the second meaning is to be thankful. We recognize what God and other people do for us, and we thank them. And well, that's so important for me, because a very special reason. I was sick, very sick, 6 years. I was even an invalid, and with terrible pains. One day I woke up, and my feet were swollen, huge, and blue, with pains, terrible pains. And in three weeks, the inflammation had taken the whole body, above all the spine and the joints of my body. And they made me blood analysis, and well, I can't forget, at the age of 40, I heard the doctor he told me, you must be very strong to accept that for all your life you have a very serious sickness, genetical, that we can't cure, just help you with the pain. but your whole life will be just pain and to be an invalid. And that was such a shock for me. After, well, through this sickness, God opened my eyes to His blessing, to things that I couldn't see without this terrible proof. And the first thing that I did, I began to beg for His pardon, to say, well, during 40 years I could stand up and walk and take something, hold something in my hands, and I had no pain at all. I was healthy, completely healthy, and well, I never thanked you because I didn't know. I thought that was natural for my body, and all I did, I began to thank God for all, for example, the studies and my work, and I thought that was from my capacities, but no, suddenly I saw that He blessed me through my studies, and I studied languages, and I worked in a place and another place, and always I had food, and I drank, and I had a flat, and friends, a lot of friends, and I began to thank Him for all that. And also, now that I couldn't anymore walk and so on, well, I began to thank Him for what I could still do. For example, I could see, and I lived in Corsica. That's such a beautiful island, just mountains in the sea, so everywhere you see both sea and mountains, and such a beautiful landscape everywhere, and God's creation. And I began to thank God for that, the landscape and my ability to see, and I could hear, and I could talk, and well, I was alive, and I knew that He was with me. He was my Father. He loved me, and that was the most important. And I had still a lot of friends who they helped me during the sickness, and so I began to see all the positive and all the blessings, and also what friends and did to help me, and really the friendship. And one day I was just lying. I couldn't move. I couldn't stand up or be seated on a chair. I needed a relax, like a special chair, like a relax, just to hold my head, and because of the pain in the spine, and I couldn't walk, just with difficulty with crutches and so on. And one day I was lying, and suddenly I heard something that I couldn't have heard without this problem. I heard my heart, just my heart, beating so well, so regularly, and I thank God also for that. And that's not true for everybody. Many people have heart problem, and I felt my lungs, that I could breathe, and that was so wonderful just to fill my lungs with fresh air, and that's not the case for everybody. I had at this time a friend very sick, and he couldn't breathe, and had always a bottle of oxygen, and he died a few months after. And I had also friends. They needed dialysis all the time, every 2 days, diabetic people. And well, I began also to thank God for that, for my heart, for my lungs, for my kidneys, for all the organs that worked so wonderfully. And well, I couldn't walk, but I had a lot of blessings and a lot of reasons to thank God that I hadn't seen before. And well, now I thank God for things that normal people can't see. For example, well, actually, after 6 years of terrible sickness, God healed me by a miracle in Corsica. All the people who knew me after they saw and said that's a miracle that He healed me of that sickness, genetical sickness, and that was 16 years ago now. That I don't suffer anymore. I never suffer, and for me, just no suffer. That's just a blessing, because during 6 years I suffered all the time, and that was terrible. And after, from this time, 16 years, no suffering at all, and each day I thank God for that. And also in the Midrasha where we study the women of the issue, we study Torah. Sometimes I tell the young girls, well, you are tired and you think that's natural to sit on a chair just but that's not natural at all. We must also thank for that, to rest, to be seated on a chair. I couldn't do that during 6 years. I couldn't be seated on a normal chair, and now I also thank God for that I can be seated on a chair as now, and that's such a blessing for me. That's a miracle. Well, hidden in the nature, but that's also a miracle that we are tired and we sit and our strengths come back, and during the night we are very tired and we sleep during the night, and in the morning we are fresh and very strong and full of strength. But that's also a miracle, and I thank God for all that. That's hidden in the nature, but that's also that blessing from Him, wonderful blessings. And that's why I've chosen this name, Hodaya, because through this sickness and the pain, and God opened my eyes to a lot of things. And well, actually in another video I will explain how that was such a special period, those 6 years, so strong. And he taught me so many things, basis things. That's the foundation in my life now. What he taught me during those years, and the relationship with him. And I will tell you all that in another video, another day. But now that's what I wanted to explain. That well, really, we are such poor, only poor people, but we don't have anything, but we have everything in His heart. The door always wide open, and we can enter and receive and be blessed, and to be with Him, to have this wonderful relationship with our Father and creature and friend, and well, also we must thank Him for all that, to be thankful. And well, I thank all of you who asked me why I've chosen this name, because well, I got the opportunity to explain all that. And well, I pray that God will bless you, all of you.